Welcome to the Daytona International Speedway, home of the most prestigious stock car race in the world, the Daytona to the 500. Daytona International. Today we are here for the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series version of that race. Tonight's is the Devtona 500. This race is sure to be a thrilling one, as the best sim racers in the world will be competing for the checkered flag. The field is filled with experienced drivers, including some of the biggest names in the SCSRA, such as Jeffrey Belk, Devin Bucciano, Austin Blaylock, and Colin Willems. The track is also a major factor in this race. Daytona International Speedway is one of the fastest tracks in the world, and it can be a very challenging place to drive. The high banks and long straightaways make it a place where drivers can really push their cars to the limit. I'm sure we're going to be in for a great race today, so let's get started right here on Intensity Broadcasting. Last week we had our two duels to determine the starting lineup of tonight's event. Devin Bucciano won duel number 1. He led 9 of the 30 laps. Dave Wright finished second. Eddie Morris finished third. Brian Boyd finished fourth, and Cody Moore finished fifth. In duel number 2, Brett Merle won, leading 4 of the 30 laps. David Hartney finished second. Brian Merle Jr. finished third. Jeffrey Belk finished fourth. And Brian Nudie rounded out your top 5. Now, qualifying last week determined the front row of this race, and we saw the Wright brothers, Dave and Joe Wright. They qualified 1-2, so they will be starting on the front row for this for tonight's feature event, and then the rest of the positions will be the driver. Duel number 1 will be the drivers on the inside line, and then duel number 2, the finishing results will determine the drivers on the outside line. Right now in practice, Eddie Morris, he is on the top of the board. 46.33 is the time for Eddie. Then it's Devin Bucciano in second. Jake McCarty in third. Brian Boyd in fourth. And Ryan Gomes in fifth. We're having some issues with the cars. I'm going to very quickly try to see if I can, because some of the cars are just all white. I'm going to very quickly see if I can get them to have their custom paint, everybody's custom paint on their car before the feature event begins. Because we want everybody to see their custom car. So I'm just gonna reset iRacing very quickly. Please bear with me as I get it fixed so we can see the snazzy paint schemes that these drivers are running tonight. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in so far. Puppet Master on YouTube says, good evening, sir. Good evening. Thanks for tuning in to watch tonight. Jeffrey Belk, one of our racers, he says, let's get it tonight. Good luck tonight, Jeff. We got, let's go, number 78, Boyd. Brian Boyd, yep, in that 78 next-gen car, looking to get his first career SCSRA win tonight. Devin Bucciano says it's the Devtona 500, baby. Heck yeah. The most prestigious iRacing race. Nick Cashman says, wish I could have joined. Well, they're always looking for new drivers, so you can maybe participate in next season's Devtona 500. All the paint schemes have been fixed. I just have to adjust one more thing really quick. And then we will be set to go here. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties with the paint schemes, but I can see it now. I can see all the paint schemes. Glad we are going to be able to see all of the snazzy paint schemes, because there really are some awesome paint schemes in this race tonight. There we go. Alrighty. Here we go. Let's quickly skim over the starting lineup. Front row, Dave Wright, Joe Wright. Third place by Neo's racing teammate, that's Devin Butchno. Fourth, Brett Merle. Rounding out your top five, that's Eddie Morris. Sixth, seventh, and eighth, that's David Hartney, Brian Boyd, Brian Merle Jr. Ninth is Cody Moore, rounding out your top 10, Jeffrey Belk. 11th is Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. 12th is Billy Tyloff. 13th, Braxton Zog. 14th is Rick Tillman, rounding out your top 15. That is Ryan Gomes. 16th, Charles Balance Sr. 17th, Josh Hall. 18th, Riley Gomes. 19th, Colin Willems, rounding out your top 20, Sylvain Seagoin. And last but most certainly not least, that is Jake McCarty. We got a stout field of 21 cars running in tonight's Devtona 500. Here we go. Green flag is out. The Devtona 500 is underway. 100 laps of super speedway action. Dave Wright leads the field into turns 1 and 2. He leads that bottom lane. He's got teammate Devin Butchno behind him. That is an ideal situation for Neon Racing. On his outside, that's his teammate and brother, Joe Wright. He's got a big run, getting a good push from Brett Merle. Joe looks to be clear over his brother Dave on the front stretch. Will he drop down, though? Yes, looks like Joe and Brett are going to be able to drop down to that bottom lane. Joe Wright takes the lead. We see that is Brian Merle Jr. He tucks the line to the bottom. So now David Hartney, he leads the top lane, and he has his teammate Jeffrey Belk on his back bumper. So DBC Racing getting grouped up on that outside lane. But after one lap, it is Joe Wright. He is your leader, getting a push from Brett Merle. Now, Joe and Brett, they are not on the same team. Brett Merle is with Merle Racing, while Joe Wright is with Neon Racing. But we do have teammates grouped up on the outside again. Jeffrey Belk and David Hartney, the two of them are teammates at DBC Racing. We got John Zog in the chat. He says, go 57. After the first lap, Braxton Zog, he's been able to make his way up into the top 10. Currently running in 9th. He is the 5th car on the outside lane. Outside lane's got a big run. We see David Hartney and Jeffrey Belk able to get a good enough run to drop down in front of Joe Wright. So now David Hartney, he will take the lead. He's got his teammate Jeffrey Belk behind him on that bottom lane. So now, I was going to say Billy Tyloff was leading on the outside. He drops down to the bottom lane. And so now the new leader on the outside, we got a few drivers dropping down to the apron. That's Brian Merle Jr. and Eddie Morris. They were on the apron. They might be dropping back to just get grouped together, or maybe they just saw some action up front that they didn't like and they just kind of backed out of it. But we are now single file here at Daytona. David Hartney leads the train. Do want to mention this, we will have a stage break at 30 laps. The caution flag will come out. Drivers will get an opportunity to come in, get some fuel, get some fresh tires. It will be the only admin-controlled caution of the race. So it looks like these drivers already getting kind of conservative, getting tucked in line, single file. The only other way I would think that Eddie and Brian ended up on the apron is if we saw a near wreck And everybody just thought, hey, it's too early to tear up our next-gen cars. Let's just kind of get single file, hang out for a little bit, and save the crazy action for the last 15, 10, or 5 laps. We can take a look, because with the shortage, with the kind of single file action, we'll kind of see what happened there to Eddie. Let's rewind a bit here. I don't believe it's this lap. I believe it's the next. We're watching Eddie. He's on the bottom lane. He's got Brian Merle Jr. in front of him. Brian Boyd on his outside. Yeah, no, it wasn't an incident. It just looked like Eddie and Brian, they just tucked out a line. Interesting, interesting. Charles Ballant Sr. just ran the fastest lap time of the race. 46.29 was the time for that 41 Chevrolet Camaro. He currently runs in the 10th place position. He's got this pack of 9 cars up in front of him, sucking up to his teammates. Josh Hall, his back bumper. Brian Nudie says, let's go Wasted Wages Racing. Here's an update on where the 2 Wasted Wages Racing drivers are for you. Colin Willems currently runs in the 16th position. He's gained 3 spots since the green flag dropped after starting in 19th. And then Cody Moore, we see he's getting passed by some drivers on his outside. He has fallen to the 20th place position. He currently runs in last place, so not a good start to the race so far for Cody Moore and Colin Willems. They are the bottom 2 drivers in the field. This may be a strategy call, though. You never know. They might be trying to avoid the wrecks, although with the single file we are seeing, I'm not sure if we will have any wrecks at the moment. Brian New says, where are the Colin Willems bots at when we need them? Yeah. Sometimes miss the bot squad that we had for many years. The Colin Willems Nation would always show up and shout him out. Hey, at least he has you, Nudie. So we're approaching 10 laps. David Hartney has the lead here at Daytona. He has got his DBC Racing teammate Jeffrey Belk behind him. 3rd is Joe Wright. 4th, Brett Merle. Rounding out your top 5, it's Dave Wright. We saw Colin Willems. He just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 46.27. We see he's currently reeling in at Jake McCarty, sucking up to his back bumper. This is for the 18th position. From 16th on back, it's a pack. And then we see another pack, 13th through 15th, that consists of Cheeseburger and Riley and Ryan Gomes. And then after that, we've got a 12-car pack. Cassie Willems says, let's go, Colin. Again, Colin Willems runs in that 19th place position, running with this pack of 5 cars in the rear of the field. I want to give a big thank you to series sponsor Dev Sports Cards for returning once again as the series sponsor of the Wednesday night series. Dev Sports Cards was established in 2013 by SCSRA driver and Neon Racing team owner Devin Butchino. Dev Sports Cards specializes in all your sports cards and gaming cards needs, from football, baseball, and basketball cards to Pokemon. Dev Sports Cards sells it all. On their eBay store, you can find a wide variety of items, from high-end sports cars to their weekly 99-cent start-and bid 7-day auctions. Don't have time to sell your own cards? Reach out to Devin and ask about his consignment services. Simply package them up, ship them out, and Devin will get them listed, sold, and then you get paid. Dev Sports Cards can be found on eBay with 4,000 plus positive feedback, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Dev Sports Cards is a proud sponsor of the SCSRA series and Intensity Broadcasting. So thank you so much to Dev Sports Cards for sponsoring this Next Gen series. If you are a sports cards fan or a sports fan in general, definitely consider checking them out and maybe grab some sports cards. Mother's Day coming up. Hey, it's the perfect gift for Mother's Day. If your mom has a favorite player or something, go pick her up a card from Dev Sports Cards. "12 laps in the books here at Daytona. Top 12 remain single file, with David Hartney leading the train. I mean, they're still going. This pack is still going very fast. Last time by, David Hartney hit a top speed of 200 miles per hour. So I don't think there's any fuel saving. Actually, there may be, because the duels were 30 laps, and many drivers had not much fuel left in their tanks by the time the duels finished. So drivers just trying to save fuel for the 30-lap stage break. For the stage break, top 10 will get points. 10 points to first, and it descends down to 1 point for 10th place. Right now, our top rookie in the field tonight, currently running in 6th place in the 79 Siemens Chevrolet Camaro. That is Billy Tyloff in the 79. Looking very good right now, right outside of the top 5. He's gained 6 positions since the green flag dropped. He started this race in 12th. Rick Tillman, another good rookie so far tonight, running in 7th. Josh Hall just ran the fastest lap time of the race, 46.20 is the time for that 81 machine, as he is currently sucking up to Devin Butchno's back bumper for 8th. Typically, drivers in the rear of a certain pack turn the faster lap times because they have more cars in front of them. They have more draft. And we saw that come into play right there with Josh Hall turning that fastest lap time of the race. We now officially have 2 kind of distinct packs. 1st through 10th. We've got David Hartney to Brian Boyd, and then we've got another pack from 11th all the way to 20th. That's Eddie Morse to Ryan Gomes. Mary Gahan on Facebook says, good luck tonight, number 77. Right now, Brian Boyd currently running in that 10th place position. Having a good top 10 run so far. At the tail end of this pack, we see Brian. He actually goes up to the outside lane. He doesn't have any help up there, though. You got to have about 3 or 4 cars to even make a run on that high side, so he's not going to be able to do much up there. Paul Vosberg on YouTube says, let's go Boyd. Brian Boyd has a big cheering section tonight. And again, having a good top 10 run so far, running in that 10th place position. We saw some drivers pushing up the track off of 2 at these super speedways. From my experience with these next-gen cars, these are very tight and unresponsive cars. You have to give the wheel a lot of input if you want to keep these cars straight. Daniel Poachslag. Boyd, get him. Yeah, he is right at the tail end of this pack. Just waiting to make a move, but he's got to have some other drivers up there to give him help. We'll see if any of his Mission 22 Motorsports drivers can help him out. I don't know if there is any in the pack. Yes, Billy Tyloff is in this front pack, so he can group up with him. But I don't think just Billy and Brian can make a run to the front. There needs to be some other guys in that pack as well to compete with the bottom lane. David Hartney, Jeffrey Belk, Joe Wright, Brett Merle, Dave Wright, Mad Max Sim Racing. Let's go Merle Racing. Here's a look at where all of the Merle Racing drivers currently are at. Rick Tillman currently running in 7th place. Let's see, you have to go back to... Oh, we got some pit road action. DBC Racing all coming in. David Hartney, Jeffrey Belk, Josh Hall making that left-hand turn onto pit road. Let's see what these guys are going to do to their next-gen cars. We'll watch Josh Hall here on this pit stop. Looks like it is a gas and go for all 3 drivers. They should be good to go for the rest of the stage. Josh Hall is through the grass. He must have spun his tires or something off of pit road. Got the car upset, and there he was through the grass. He might get busted for a unsafe pit entry. Not sure. If so, that is unfortunate for that 81 machine. Here come the leaders off of turn number 4. Anyway, oh, I forgot to mention Brett Merle with Merle Racing. He is currently running in the 2nd place position. And then the other 2, we got Braxton Jake McCarty in 10th. And then Braxton Zog, he currently runs in 14th. So there's your Merle Racing check-in for the Merle Racing fans. Brian Nudie says, well, not sure Josh Hallstad is going to work out now. Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm going to quickly look to see what happened to Josh. What went wrong? So we see he really spins those tires as he exits the pits. Hey, we all do that when we're exiting the pits. We want to go. But he might have done it a little bit too much, and car comes out from underneath him, and he spins out to the right, goes to the grass again. Josh might be given an unsafe pit entry. So with Hartney and Belk coming in, Joe Wright leads the pack with Brett Merle behind him. Dave Wright in 3rd. We've got Billy Tyloff in 4th. And rounding out your top 5, that is Rick Tillman. We got Josh Hall currently running on the outside. He is a lap down. I think he's probably going to tuck in line at the tail end of the field. Hoping to get his lap back eventually. For the Season 5 next-gen season, SCSRA is proud to have Blue Ridge Auto Group on board. And for those of you who don't know about Blue Ridge Auto Group, let me tell you a little bit about them. The team at Blue Ridge Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, is immensely proud to be an active member of the thriving Abingdon, Virginia community. They are always looking for new ways to get involved with and give back to their local patrons. At Blue Ridge Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, they strive to provide their customers with the best experience possible. From the exceptional deals they offer on new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram inventory, as well as the great selection of used trucks, SUVs, and even luxury cars, their friendly staff of sales professionals are always readily available to assist you in comparing vehicles, exploring your financing options, and taking advantage of great savings. Whether you visit their dealership location or just browse online, they're always happy to have you. Not sure if Blue Ridge Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram is the right fit for your automotive needs? Get to know them. Call them at 276-254-8289. Contact them online at blueridgecdjr.com. Link is in the description. Or visit them on location at 19711 Old Jonesboro Road, Abingdon, Virginia, 24211 to ask questions or get a quote. They look forward to working with you. So again, thank you so much to Blue Ridge Auto Group for partnering with the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series for Season 5. If you are in the Abingdon, Bristol, Virginia area and you are looking for a new or used Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, they are the dealership to check out. We saw some drivers trying to make it work on the outside lane. Looks like maybe, I'm not exactly sure, I think maybe Brian Boyd was able to get by Devin Butchno. He is now behind his teammate, Billy Tyloff. We'll see if they can try to do anything here. Joe Wright, who leads the pack here at Daytona. Currently biggest mover of the race so far. That is Jake McCarty in the 4. He is currently second place in the second pack. He is running behind his former Neon Racing teammate, Brian Merle Jr. Of course, Jake McCarty now with Merle Racing. Got a driver on pit road. That is Charles Ballant Sr. in the 41 machine. Running in 19th at the time of the pit stop. He's now fallen a lap down. Looks like it's going to be 4 tires and fuel for that 41 machine. 2 laps to go until the stage break. These drivers going to be fighting for some valuable points to start off the season. It'll definitely be good if you can start off the season with 10 points, which is what Joe Wright would get if he finished where he's currently running right now. Hey, we got a driver on the outside. That is Billy Tyloff in the 79 machine, although we see he tucks back in line. Will we see any drivers branch off as we approach the stage break finish? We shall see. Billy Tyloff keeps going up there to the outside lane. Trying to see if anybody else will go up there with him. I definitely think Brian Boyd, his teammate at Mission 22 Motorsports, would be willing to go up there with him. We will see. All right, here they are coming to the start-finish line to complete the stage. Devin Butchno, he goes to the outside lane, trying to make something work up there. I think they're going to make one more circuit around the racetrack. They'll be coming to the stage break finish, this time by Joe Wright leads the pack, with Brett Merle behind him, Dave Wright in third. Who's going to branch off? Devin Butchno, he goes to the outside. He does not have a partner to dance with, though. So he will tuck back in line behind Billy Tyloff. There we go, Billy Tyloff, he goes to the outside. Dave Wright goes up there as well. Can Dave Wright get any positions? No, he cannot. He will stay in the third place position. And caution flag will come out. Stage break. Joe Wright will win the stage. Uh-oh. I think Billy Tyloff has run out of fuel, slow on the racetrack, or there was an incident. I'm not sure. But Joe Wright will win the stage. Brett Merle second. Dave Wright third. Rick Tillman in fourth. Brian Boyd fifth. Devin Butchino sixth. Brian Merle Jr. seventh. Jake McCarty eighth. Colin Willems ninth. Eddie Morris 10th. And I have just lost my ticker. So we are going to quickly get that fixed and up. Apologies for the technical difficulties there. Sometimes it can act up. We will get it back up and running here. All right. We've got everything back just in time for pit stops. The whole field coming down onto pit road. Dave Wright will have the advantage with that first pit stall. Looks like first driver off. No, let's see here. Who will be the first driver off in it? It is the driver with the first pit stall, Dave Wright. Then it's Brett Merle. Got Joe Wright, Cody Moore, Devin Butchino, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, Braxton Zog. Got Brian Boyd, Eddie Morris, David Hartney, Jeffrey Belk, Josh Hall on pit road. We did see two drivers stay out. That's Rick Tillman and Colin Willems. I don't know if they maybe needed to get their laps back. All right, there we go. Rick Tillman is coming in this time by. So is Colin Willems. I believe they did need to get their lap back. Looks like Cody Moore, Brian Merle Jr. also coming in to maybe top off. So after that all shakes out, Dave Wright will be in the lead. He'll have Brett Merle on his outside, his brother Joe and teammate behind him. Devin Butchino in fourth, and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence will be in the... No, Braxton Zog will be in the fifth place position. Lights on the pace car out. We're getting ready to go back green. Again, that will be the only admin-controlled caution of the night. If a caution comes out, it will be because of an on-track incident. The entire field, except for one car, is on the lead lap. And Charles Ballant Sr., he's only down one lap. If caution comes out, he will be back on the lead lap. So it is still anybody's race. Bradley Twaddle says, let's go 57. Braxton Zog with a very good pit stop. This puts him in the 7th place position. He will be restarting 4th car on the bottom row. This will be interesting because we've got teammates with each other on the bottom row, but non-teammates on the top row. Brett Merle, Cheeseburger on opposing teams. Cheeseburger with DBC Racing, Brett Merle with Merle Racing. While on the bottom, I mean, first of all, Dave and Joe, they're teammates in life. They are brothers. And then, of course, they are teammates at Neon Racing. Green flag is back out. The Devtona 500 is back underway. Dave Wright leads that bottom lane. The field goes into turns 1 and 2. Here we go. Big run on the bottom. Joe Wright giving Dave Wright a good push. Brett Merle, Cheeseburger, Brian Boyd trying to have a good run on that outside lane. But Joe, Dave, they know how to work with each other. Joe's a very good pusher. Dave's a very good leader. And they are looking very stout on that bottom lane. Brett Merle, Cheeseburger trying to build up a good run on that outside lane here. All right, nice run. We saw in the front stretch, Merle closed the gap between himself and Dave Wright a little bit. They have a 4th car up there on the high side now. That's Jake McCarty in the 4. But still, the bottom has more cars. They seem to be more organized. We'll see what happens here. Brian Boyd, he will tuck in line on the bottom. Braxton Zog goes up to the outside lane. Some moving and shaking going on here. 36 laps completed. Again, I always forget to mention this because these are just the broadcast is not down. The server just crashed or something. Well, looks like something has just disconnected on my end. No, we can't throw a yellow. Let me quickly try to get everything back up. That's super weird. Everything just began blanking out. Can everybody still hear me? Is the stream still good audio-wise? Just want to make sure I don't need to end the stream and start again. Thank you. The wreckage replay has been more for the broadcast wrecking than actual track wrecking. Again, if you can hear me. Okay, perfect, perfect. It is just a sim issue then. We will go ahead and just try to get it figured out. I've talked to some of the drivers really quickly and confirmed that it is a issue on my end. Yeah, this is super weird. It does this isn't normally common. We typically have smooth broadcasts, but they definitely happen, and the show must go on. We'll try to get it fixed here for you. I've loaded back into the session. I can see the cars on the track. I've got the ticker up. And we are good to go. Everything is alive again. Everything is alive and well. That was touch and go for a second there. So as we resume, we've got Dave Wright leading the bottom lane. He's still got his brother behind him. Leading the top lane, it's the two Wasted Wages Racing drivers. That's Colin Willems and Cody Moore. These two definitely know how to work with each other. They've been teammates for a very long time. They're trying to make a charge to the front here. Paul Vosberg says, all good, thanks for what you're doing. Appreciate the kind words, Paul. Glad I was able to get everything fixed. We are going to get to see the final half of this race. The only reason why we get through the first half of the race is to get to the second half of the race anyway. So like I was mentioning before we had the technical difficulties, this is the first official points race for these this first regular season racing for these drivers in these next-gen cars. So this is kind of the maiden voyage. A lot of these drivers' first time in a pack bigger than 10 cars. So this has been new. I know a lot of drivers, it's been a learning experience for a lot of drivers trying to figure out what these cars can and can't do, what these cars can do better or worse than what the Xfinity cars could do. So there's just a lot of experimentation, a lot of learning right now for these drivers. So far, except for the stage break, we've gone caution-free. It's been some good, clean racing. Half of the field, with all the rookies we have, this is their first official race in these next-gen cars, racing with some of the other SCSRA veterans. So really nice to see a stout rookie field this season. And it's a very competitive field. The Rookie of the Year battle is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. The car noise or my microphone? Because I can turn up either, Daniel. Outside still holding strong, although we did see Cody Moore drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. Colin Willems, he's got Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence behind him now. He is his dancing partner on that top lane. Looks like your leaders are coming up on some lap traffic. That is Billy Tyvoff in the 79 machine, currently running in 19th. The leaders are coming up on him right now. So let's see what's going to happen here. Compared to Talladega, Daytona doesn't have as much room. I think Tyloff is going to hold it against that outside wall. We see that bottom lane pinching down as much as they can, the bottom lane, so they avoid hitting the 79 machine. All right, the first 2 cars have gotten by Tyloff, but a few more have to. All right. There we go. The whole field has been able to get by Billy Tyloff. We now have 2 cars down, 1 lap, 18 cars on the lead lap. Colin Willems continues to lead the outside lane, trying to build up a good run. With Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence once again behind him on his back bumper. We are approaching the halfway point of this race. So far, it's been a pretty tame race, but typically after this halfway point, the action begins to ramp up. Drivers get less and less patient as the laps tick off. And I mean, towards the end of this race, 10 laps, patience is going to be extremely, extremely low. We're going to see a lot more taking and giving, but still, a lot of these drivers being very conservative right now, continuing to save their cars for the end of this race. I do want to mention as well, for many teams, this is their first race working with each other. So a lot of the Neon Racing guys, a lot of the Merle Racing guys, DBC Racing, it's their first time working together as teammates, except for the duels and yesterday's truck race. So the first time working together in a regular season race here in these next-gen cars. So drivers still figuring stuff out, trying to build chemistry with each other. And, I mean, there's no better track to build chemistry with their teammates than at Daytona, which is a very team-oriented track. You're going to see drivers all throughout the rest of this race try working together with their teammates. We see right now 1, 2, 3 on the bottom lane is teammates at Neon Racing. We see some DBC Racing drivers grouped up. Some Merle Racing drivers, Wasted Wages, Mission 22 Motorsports. All the different teams working with each other here. And just trying to build the chemistry and prepare for the rest of the season. It's always good to have teammates. You can bounce off with each other tips and tricks. Create pit strategy with each other. It can definitely make these super speedway races a lot easier if you have some good teammates. Right now, the team that has the least amount of team drivers, that is Wasted Wages Racing. They only have 2 drivers. That is Cody Moore and Colin Willems, but both of them have had good races so far. There they are. Leaders going around Charles Balance Jr., or Sr., who was on that inside lane. They all go around him. The outside lane starting to fizzle out. Michael Lawrence, he leads that outside lane. Behind him is his teammate, DBC Racing teammate, Josh Hall. So the outside lane is pretty much just DBC Racing with the exception of Jeffrey Belk. Jeffrey Belk is staying on the bottom lane at the moment. He's trying to maybe get up there to his teammates. But right now, like I mentioned, the outside lane starting to fizzle out. The bottom is becoming kind of the dominant lane right now with Dave Wright, Joe Wright, Eddie Morris leading the way. At this time, we are going to turn up the volume and pump up the intensity here. You will get to see the sights and hear the sounds of the racetrack. Here we go. There you have it. That is Pump Up the Intensity. Hopefully you enjoyed us turning up the volume, getting to see the sights and sounds of the racetrack. We set our sights now back to the racing action. Dave Wright continues to lead that bottom lane with his brother Joe behind him, and that third car on that bottom lane is their teammate Eddie Morris, all three of them with Neon Racing. Brett Merle now leads the outside lane. He's got help from behind. That is, he's getting help from Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, the two not on the same team, but working together nonetheless. So at this point in the race, here are my drivers to watch. I mean, first of all, definitely gotta say the Wright brothers. Joe, Dave, extremely experienced super speedway racers. I mean, they always know how to get it done, and they work very well together. So if there's going to be a duo that's going to push each other to the win, it's definitely these two. So watch out for your current front two, Dave and Joe Wright. Eddie Morris, he's got numerous Truck Series Daytona wins. He's currently the third car in that lane, and he is always one to watch out for in the end. So keep your eye out for Eddie Morris. Brett Merle in the 11. He's had a strong run. I've said his names a few times. He's been trying to make some moves. Currently runs in that 7th place position. If he can play his cards right, he can get up there to that front position. He's just going to make some good moves here. Devin Butchno, he won duel number 1 last week. Currently runs in the 10th place position. Yes, he's about mid-pack, but just like with Brett Merle, he's a few smart moves away from getting up there to the front. Lastly, one other driver I want to mention, keep your eye out on. That is Colin Willems in the 17 machine. He has 2 season opener wins here on the Wednesday night series, getting them in the Xfinity series. Currently runs in the 5th place position. He's that 5th car on the bottom lane. And he's got his teammate Cody Moore right behind him. So towards the end of the race, we may see Willems and Cody break off from the bottom lane, go up to the top, and try to make some noise. So those are my ones to watch out for. The pit window. Actually, we may go on a little bit more. About to say the pit window is open, but if the drivers pit, I'm not sure if they can make it all the way. I think they need to go maybe a little bit longer. Field pretty much single file, the outside lane non-existent. Dave Wright leads the way. Want to quickly talk about the track that we are racing at tonight. We're here at Daytona International Speedway. Let me tell you a little bit about it. No one could have known it then, but when Daytona International Speedway opened in 1959, it marked the beginning of a new era in American motorsport. As a replacement for the old beach road course a few miles east, the high-banked 2.5-mile Florida Tri-Oval represented the leading edge of a wave of construction of big paved speed palaces. Before Daytona, Indianapolis was the only American oval track longer than 1.25 miles, and most racing took place on dirt ovals a mile or less in length. From the very first Daytona 500, won by Lee Petty, in a three-way photo finish, those high banks so steep that it is hard to walk up them proved a favorable venue for wide-open stock car racing, and Daytona kicked off the growth of NASCAR as we know it today. Daytona was also the first multi-use facility with a 3.56-mile road circuit, incorporating the infield and most of the oval, host not only to the Daytona 500, but the Rolex 24 Sports Car Enduro, Bike Week's Daytona 200, Daytona Kart Week between Christmas and New Year's, and a host of driving school, club, and other events. Daytona's busy and diverse schedule confirms the track's motto as the world center of racing. Daytona International Speedway's infrastructure has grown and changed to such a degree that it would be almost unrecognizable today to someone who hasn't seen it since the track opened. But one thing hasn't changed over the past 6 decades. No driver can consider his or her career complete without notching a victory at Daytona. We've got some green flag pit stops, speaking of here at Daytona. We got the leaders, Dave Wright, Joe Wright, coming into the pits. So the whole pack that came in, that looked to be Dave Wright, Joe Wright, Eddie Morris, Cody Moore, Brett Merle, Rick Tillman, Devin Butchno, Jake McCarty, Colin Willems, and Braxton Zog. Looks like Brian Merle Jr. and Billy Tythoff also, looks like Brian Merle Jr. and Riley Gomes. Brian Boyd and Ryan Gomes are in the pits now. The other pack that came in, that was Jeffrey Belk, Josh Hall, David Hartney, and Cheeseburger. They DBC Racing, so it looks like they came in a lap earlier. They are going around Colin Willems, who has lost the pack. So interested to see whose strategy will come out on top. These three, who came in a lap earlier than this other pack. So right now, Eddie Morris leads the field. He's got Dave Wright behind him, Joe Wright in third. Cody Moore will tuck in line in the 4th place position. And then a second back is this next pack, which consists of Brett Merle, Rick Tillman, Devin Butchno, Jake McCarty. I think they should be able to catch your top 4. Oh, we got a car hard into the outside wall. That is Rick Tillman. Caution flag is out. First one of the race. That isn't a stage caution. That was a nasty, nasty hit we saw there for Rick Tillman. So at this time to do the wreckage replay. All right, here we go. So we're watching Rick Tillman. He is drafting with Brett Merle. He's got Devin Butchno behind him, and it looks like he loses the car there. I think he was trying to work the wheel, keep it straight behind Brett. He might have turned the wheel a little bit too much, upset the car, and we see that car flies right and absolutely slams the outside wall. Barely misses hitting Jake McCarty. Body panels flying off that 14 machine. Does he make contact with him? Oh! Looks like he gets into Cheeseburger and Colin Willems. Jeffrey Bell goes through the grass to avoid the incident. Nasty wreck there again for Rick Tillman, driver for Merle Racing. Majority of the field coming in to top off on fuel. Only driver that stayed out was Braxton Zog. Cody Moore on back. They came in and either just took fuel or took fuel and tires. So Eddie, Dave, Joe, Devin, Brett, Jake, Brian, all of them took tires. Rick Tillman, he's getting damage fixed. He's able to exit the pits after 2 minutes getting damage fixed. That was, man. That was a nasty hit there again for Rick Tillman. I'm not sure how many laps down he will be after getting those damages repaired. Hey, after spending 2 minutes on pit road, he is only down 1 lap. All it'll take is 1 caution, and he will be back on the lead lap. Bigley Cross says, let's go 68. Devin Butchno having a good top 10 run after the pit stops we just saw. He currently resides in the 9th place position. He's got his Neon Racing teammates in front of him. Oh, Cody Moore, Jeffrey Belk, Eddie Morris, Dave Wright, Joe Wright, Devin Butchno, Brett Merle, Colin Williams. We see Jake McCarty, Brian Boyd, and Brian Merle Jr., all of them coming into the pits. We see Braxton Zog, Josh Hall, David Hurtney, Riley Gomes, and Ryan Gomes. They all stay out. And looks like it's just another gas and go for these drivers. Just topping off on fuel again. Lights on the pace car are off. We're getting ready to go back green here. Braxton Zog will be restarting on the bottom. He's got Josh Hall on his outside. Behind Zog, that is David Hurtney. And then behind Hall, that is Billy Tithoff. The rest of the field will be catching the pack. The question is, we saw some drivers not come in at all. Some drivers come in once since lap number 61. And then we've had some drivers come in 3 times. All right, actually, no. So some drivers have come in once. Some drivers have come in twice. Some drivers have come in 3 times. Well, the question is, will everybody be able to make it to the end? Or will only some drivers be able to make it to the end? That is the question. Only 2 drivers restarting on the outside. Pace car is in. Green flag is out. Braxton Zog up through the gears. He leads the field into turns 1 and 2. Nice run, nice restart there for Josh Hall. He's got a big run. He should be able to drop down to the bottom and take the lead. Yes, he is able to. Restarting on the outside, he is able to time it just right, gets a big run, and now Josh Hall leads the field onto the backstretch. Billy Tithoff and Riley Gomes working together on that outside lane. We see Ryan Gomes. He is up there as well. And we see Billy Tyloff, he is able to get down to the bottom and take the lead. Or so you think. Billy Tyloff is actually, he was down a lap. So when he gets by Josh Hall, he is now on the lead lap. But he is pretty much at the tail end of the field. Nice big run on the outside for Riley Gomes. He is clear over Josh Hall. He would be able to drop down and take the lead, but Billy Tyloff is leading that bottom lane. We see Riley working with Ryan Gomes, both of them with Merle Racing, or excuse me, both of them with Mission 22 Motorsports. There we go. Gomes, big run. He is able to drop down and take the lead over second place. Over Billy Tyloff, excuse me. Uh-oh, looks like Riley has lost Ryan. Ryan falling back. Nobody to work with. We've got 30 laps remaining in the Devtona 500. And we see Riley Gomes leads the pack. There's Billy Tyloff jumping to the outside, trying to stay on the lead lap. He's able to carry enough speed and jump back to the front of the pack. But again, right now, Tyloff isn't technically in the lead, although he leads the entire field. He is on the lead lap because of the fact that he is in front of Riley Gomes right now. So right now, Billy Tyloff, he is hoping for a caution so that he can go to the tail end of the field and be officially on the lead lap without having to worry about the fact that the leader is right behind him. We see the outside, 3 drivers up there. That is Ryan Gomes. We see Brian Boyd. And that is also Jake McCarty. So 1 Merle Racing driver and 2 Mission 22 Motorsports drivers up there on that outside lane. They've got a nice run there on the outside. Watch out. Brian Boyd giving Ryan Gomes a very good push. But can they get up to your leader, Riley Gomes? Cold Fire on YouTube says, let's go 78. Brian Boyd, yeah, he's coming on the outside. Giving some help to Ryan Gomes, who leads the outside lane. But looks like they are beginning to fall behind. They had a nice run, but the run fizzles out. And so now it's just Ryan Gomes left on the outside lane. Brian Boyd and Jake McCarty tucked down to the bottom lane. Oh, we see a driver jump up there to the outside. That is David Hartney. Will Josh Hall go up there? Yes, Josh Hall, Hartney's teammate at DBC Racing. He jumps up there to the outside as well. So now Josh Hall leads the outside lane. Got to give it some much-needed momentum with his teammate David Hartney giving a good push behind him. And we see Ryan Gomes. He's there as well. We'll see if he can suck up to these 2 cars on the outside lane and make it a 3-car pack. Daniel Pochschlag. Oh, Boyd. Look at him run. Yep, Brian Boyd currently sits in 7th. He is right in the mix of things. We see a nice, good enough run on the outside. Is able to get Josh and Hartney almost to the lead. They just need to get clear over Billy Tyloff and put him back down a lap. They're trying to build up a good enough run. Hartney giving Josh a good push here. I think they'll be able to drop down on the backstretch. Yes, both Josh and Hartney able to get down in front of Tyloff. So now DBC Racing is 1-2 as we approach 25 laps to go here at Daytona. With Riley Gomes now running in the 3rd place position. I'm sure right now with all this moving and shaking, a lot of drivers are feeling their butt kicker. Right now in Intensity Broadcasting, we are proud to be partnered with Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is the established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel ultra low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the new and upgraded sim racing and gaming hardware that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one is right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Again, thebuttkicker.com is the website belonging to the established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. I'm an iRacer. I always make sure to use mine whenever I'm on the sim. If you're an iRacer, I definitely would recommend checking them out. They're extremely easy to install to whatever sim rig you have, and it makes for an incredible experience. It's like iRacing in a 4D movie theater. You can feel every little thing. I'm sure these drivers are feeling all of the bumps that they're getting from the drivers behind them, all the bump drafting that's been going on. Makes for an incredible, incredible iRacing experience. So if you're an iRacer, then definitely consider checking out the Butt Kicker. We've got less than 25 laps to go here at Daytona. And patience continuing to just gradually run out more and more and more. Drivers wanting to get into the front more and more and more. I still don't think the action is going to ramp up quite yet. I think drivers are going to still continue to be a little bit patient. But I think it's going to be ramping up very, very soon. And I'm sure this is what you all have been waiting for. The final 25 laps of this feature event. It's been pretty tame so far. We've seen one caution. Rick Tillman got into the outside wall. Except for one driver who was manually disconnected. That's Charles Ballance Sr. We still have 19 drivers. We still have 17 drivers on the lead lap, and we have 2 drivers down 1 lap. They will get onto the lead lap if a caution flag occurs. So, still anybody's race here. Anybody can still win this thing. The question is, who will it be? What a big win it would be if Josh Hall, your current leader, could park it into victory lane. He hasn't had the most success in the SCSRA series. He has never gotten a win in the Truck Series. And Josh has never gotten a win in the Xfinity Series. So if Josh Hall were to win, if Josh Hall were to win, this would be his first career win in any SCSRA series. You can imagine how sweet that would be for that 81 driver who has tried time and time again at these super speedways. I mean, Josh, he is one of the best super speedway drivers he knows. I mean, his IQ at these tracks, I mean, it's incredible to just, when he talks about his thought process and the moves that he makes, I mean, it's like he's playing chess. He's very smart with the moves that he makes. He's always thinking 2 moves ahead. But he's just, with the way things have shaken out, he's just never been able to break into victory lane. He's come close a couple times, but he has never been able to break into victory lane in any SCSRA series. So, again, this win would be sweet for Josh Hall, and what a way to kick off the season it would be. He's got his teammate David Hartney behind him. And I think David would definitely be willing to push Josh to a win. They're teammates. They're very good friends. You can find them playing Fortnite with each other when they're not racing. So teammates, friends. I definitely think David Hartney, especially with how long Josh has been trying to break into victory lane, I think he would be happy with pushing Josh to the win. I don't know. We will see how these 19 laps will shake out. You can't forget there's other drivers in this field. Got Riley Gomes running in that third place position. Jake McCarty in fourth. Braxton Zog in fifth. All of them looking to try to get up there to the front. As you can see on the board there, Intensity Broadcasting does have a website, intensitybroadcasting.com. There you can find all of our merchandise. We've got merchandise from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite drivers, your favorite leagues, and so much more. All of our Intensity Broadcasting merchandise on there if you want to support us. We've got a bunch of cool Atlee Weiss racing items. Bunch of cool auto racing novelty, t-shirts, hats, even a baby onesie. Got our driver collections, our lifestyle collections, and our team collections. And of course, we've got our league collections, especially. Make sure to check out the SCSRA section of the league collections and pick up an SCSRA t-shirt. Comes in 5 different colors: black, navy, red, sport gray, and white. Comes in sizes small to 5XL. Got a lot of awesome items on the Intensity Broadcasting store. Again, Mother's Day coming up. If your mom is a Intensity Broadcasting fan, it's the perfect gift for her. Pick her up something from intensitybroadcasting.com. $17 laps to go. Field still single file. The win would definitely also be sweet for some of our rookies making their first start in this SCSRA Xfinity Series. We have some rookies running very high in the field right now. Again, Riley Gomes in third. Braxton Zog in fifth. Ryan Gomes in sixth. Brian Boyd in seventh. We got Billy Tithoff in 18th. All of them hungry to start off the season with a bang in their first ever race in this Next Gen Series. And they want to prove it to these series veterans. They want to show them and say, hey, you know, I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with in this league. I'm not just some rookie that's trying to learn. I'm going to be in the mix all season long. And of course, though, many drivers, we may not see them get into the top 5, top 3 for the rest of the season, except for maybe at Talladega, because sometimes the super speedways, you can get some crazy drivers in the top 5, top 10 as it all shakes out, but, I mean, you still have to be talented to have a good run, to avoid the wrecks, to push the driver in front of you, or be able to take the bush from the driver behind you. All right, 15 laps to go. I'm going to officially say that the patience is about 90% gone now. Drivers are going to really start to make moves now. We're going to see a lot more take than give during these last 15 laps as these drivers fight to get the win. Stephanie Twaddle says, let's go. Go number 57. Braxton Zog, he is in the top 5 right now. He is right on the verge of the lead. He's just got to make some good, smart moves. Got to survive any of the craziness that may ensue in these last 15 laps. And you may see that number 5 and that number 57 machine parking it in victory lane or on the podium at least in his first ever start in this SCSRA Next Gen Series. Like I mentioned before, been a fairly tame race, only seen one non-stage brake caution, and that was when we saw Rick Tillman hit the outside wall extremely hard, but Rick Tillman could still win this race. That's the nature of the super speedway. He's only one lap down, so if a caution comes out, he can get his lead lap, he can get back onto the lead lap and work his way up to the front. It's never over until it's over at these super speedways. We're going to have one more super speedway this season on the schedule. That is Talladega Super Speedway. And that will be one of the playoff races on August 9th. So mark your calendars if you're a super speedway fan for that race. Again, August 9th will be at Talladega, the Dev Sports Cards 200. That'll be another good super speedway race. Last year, we had a third super speedway. That was the New Atlanta. Drivers didn't really like the track. They didn't like how it raced. So this season, we will be back to racing at the old Atlanta before the repave. And I know many of you are going to be probably happy with that change, because I know many people like the old Atlanta. They didn't like the change. I get it. It had some good racing for sure. Uh-oh, we got a big run on the outside. Neon Racing has gotten grouped up, and we see a few drivers up there as well. Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, Dave Wright, Devin Butchino, we got Wasted Wages Racing driver Cody Moore, and Jeffrey Belk. Looks like they tuck in line. Back down to the bottom for the time being. And then they suck up to Ryan Gomes. They go back out to the outside, and it's going to be another big run. They are making a hard charge to the front. I don't know if Josh Hall will be able to hold the lead much longer. Here they come. Few other drivers on the outside. Looks like that's Brian Boyd up there. They are making a hard charge to the lead. 10 laps to go here at Daytona. They've got a massive run. Here they come on the backstretch. Joe Wright pushing his teammate Eddie Morris on the outside. They are able to get clear over Josh Hall, who all can get down to the bottom. They all move in. Looks like 4 cars. 5 cars are able to get down. Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, Dave Wright, Devin Butchino, and Cody Moore are all able to get down to that bottom lane. So Eddie Morris has the lead. We see Brian Boyd will tuck in line to the bottom. Will we see Josh Hall jump out to the outside? No. We see Jeffrey Belk. He will tuck in line on the bottom. We're back to single file for the time being. 9 laps to go here at Talladega. I mean, at Daytona. Got my super speedways mixed up there. We saw a really strong run there for Neon Racing. Eddie Morris leads. He's got Joe right behind him. Last season at Talladega, we saw Eddie Morris pick up his first career Wednesday night win. Tonight would be his second. And he would win the inaugural race of the SCSRA Next Gen Series. Your leader's coming up on some lap traffic. That's Brian Merle Jr. in the 13. Let's see what Jr. does. Will he go down to the apron, or will he go to the high side? Josh Hall jumps to the outside. We'll see if any of his teammates will go up there with him. I know he currently has teammate David Hartney and Jeffrey Belk around him. We see Eddie Morris sucking up to Brian Merle Jr. Where will they go? Will Junior go to the outside lane? There's Cody Moore on the outside. Will he have somebody up there to work with him? Or is he just going to fall, or is just the floodgates going to open? We'll see here. Nobody up there with him at the moment. Eddie Morris continues to lead. Cody Moore trying to find a space to tuck in, or he's just hoping that somebody will jump up there and give him a push. No luck right now. His teammate, there we go. His teammate Colin Willems up to the high side now. Coming to Cody Moore's assistance to give him a push up there. 6 laps to go. We see a driver onto pit road. That's Ryan Gomes. He may have been running out of fuel. I'm not sure. We see Brett Merle, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence also having to come into the pits. Looks like it is just a gas and go for pretty much everybody. Just topping off on fuel. I don't think they were going to be able to make it for the rest of the way. They're hoping for a caution so they can get bunched back up with the rest of the field. Brian Nudie says Cody Moore for the sweep. That could very well happen. Cody Moore's got his teammate Colin Willems right behind him, but there's only 2 of them. With Wasted Wages Racing, they're going to need maybe somebody else to work with them. Maybe Devin Butchino, who's in front of him, or Jeffrey Belk, who's behind them. Cody Moore is just going to have to make some good moves if he wants to get up there to the front. He's kind of in a tough situation right now. 5 laps to go. Eddie Morris, he leads the field. He's got teammate Joe Wright behind him. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 is Neon Racing. Actually, and also the driver who leads the pack. There we see Brian Merle Jr. He tucks off. We see a few other drivers coming into the pits as well. Josh Hall, David Hartney, Braxton Zog, Brian Merle Jr., Billy Tythoff. I also don't think they were going to be able to make it the rest of the way. Yeah, the side draft. Brian News says use that side draft. Side draft very strong in these next-gen cars. I'm sure Cody, Colin definitely are going to utilize that if they break off from this pack here. The question is, are these 7 cars that we see in this front pack, will they be able to make it the rest of the way, or are they going to be short on fuel? Some fuel drama maybe going to come into play here. 12 cars on the lead lap. Three laps to go. Eddie Morris leads the field. He's got 3 of his teammates behind him. Joe Wright, Dave Wright, and Devin Butchino in that 5th place spot, 5th and 6th. Watch out, Wasted Wages Racing teammates. Cody Moore, Colin Willems. I would honestly think maybe Jeffrey Belk would go out to the outside lane and maybe work with them. He doesn't have any teammates with him. And he's going to be fighting for that win. If and when Cody and Colin break off from this pack, I wouldn't be surprised again if Jeffrey Belk follows behind them. 2 laps to go. This 7-car pack remains single file. You see a driver in the pit road. That's Rick Tillman. We got a 3-car pack reeling in your leaders. That's Brian Boyd, Riley Gomes, and Jake McCarty. 2 out of the 3 with Mission 22 Motorsports. Here they are, coming off of turn number 4. Eddie Morris is going to take the white flag. 1 more lap in tonight's Devtona 500. We see 2 more drivers having to break off. Again, I don't think they're going to be able to make it on fuel. Going to be interesting to see how much fuel Morris, Wright had left. We'll see. I don't know if I'll be interviewing them, though. Anything can still happen. Will anybody break off on the backstretch? Yes, Cody Moore goes to the outside. Will anybody follow behind with him? Yes, Cody has help from Colin Willems. Can they make a last lap run? We see Joe Wright, Dave Wright. They break out to the outside. It's 2 cars versus 1. What a last lap move for Joe Wright. He will win the Devtona 500 in a last lap move, getting help from his brother. They break off from their teammate Eddie Morris at the last second. What a last lap move there for Joe Wright, getting the win. Nice move there by the 82 machine. Let's quickly watch that finish there from the backstretch. So here's Joe Wright on Eddie Morris's back bumper. He's got his brother and teammate Dave Wright behind him. Continuing to be patient as they head through turns 3 and 4, staying on his teammate's back bumper. We see he's peeking out, getting some air into that 82 machine. His brother sucks up to him. He gets to the back bumper, gives him a shove. They go up to the high side on the short chute, and they just have a massive run. It was 2 cars versus 1 there. And it was just hard there for Eddie Morris to beat that. We see Dave Wright went to the outside to maybe see if he could beat his brother to the line, but no. It was Joe Wright with the win. This is Joe's second career Wednesday night win. He got a win at Talladega in the Xfinity Series. He wins the first ever race in the SCSRA Next Gen in dramatic fashion in a crazy last lap finish. I know Joe Wright, he is hoping that races like this, strong performances, will be the theme of his season. All right, driver interviews going to be beginning here. Let's start off by pulling in your third place finisher. Let's go ahead and talk to Eddie Morris. Eddie, this is Atlan, the broadcast. We've got a copy.
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Doing pretty good, and looks like coming to that last lap, had a good lead. You had been great all race long. I know you and your Neon Racing teammates towards the end of that race after the green flag pit stops after the caution, that you had a great run on the outside, had been able to get to the lead, and you had kind of been leading that pack, but we saw on the last lap, Joe, Dave able to break off, and it was 2 cars against 1. They were able to have a good enough run, and Joe and Dave were able to get by you on that finish there. So just kind of walk us through those last few laps, and I mean, how'd you finish where you finished there?
Well, see that, man, it was definitely saving some gas there towards the end of it. So the little estimator thing kept throwing me off. Like before I got to the start finish line, it would give me another reading, and then after the start finish line, it'd give me a different reading. So I didn't know which one to really trust. but was able to save enough gas there. Ended up running out on the back stretch, but that was the key right there. And then just having the teammates around you to push and work with. The first stage, I felt to the back. A lot of rookies and stuff. Didn't really know what to expect. The clash race and all that stuff last week was kind of crazy. So really proud of all the new guys, man, for having a fairly clean race, and I think there was two cautions. One of them was a stage, so that's pretty good, especially if, from last week. But yeah, that was my bad there, man. I was trying to catch the pack, and that was a mess. Crawling up all day, man, just getting to my teammates, and once I got to them, we was able to drive to the front. And man, let me tell you what, I'm so happy Joe won that. I mean, if you're gonna lose one like that, at least lose one like that to your teammate. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad about that. I'm happy for him, man. Him or D Wright or Devin, if any of them would have passed me like that, Junior, I'd have been okay with it. Third to those guys, I'll take it any day of the week. It's a good points day for all the Neon drivers, and we'll hopefully take this momentum to next week and see what we got.
I know this is your first race with Neon Racing. Kind of walk us through how has it been, with the duels, and now with the Devtona 500 here with the Neon Racing Group. How's it been working with your new teammates? Have y'all kind of meshed well together?
Oh yeah, for sure. All five of us, we've really raced together for a really long time. Back when the league that shall not be named was the league that shall not be named, and not the SCSRA, but. So we go back a while, so all of us kind of get along. We know what to expect when we're around each other. So, it's pretty much business as usual. Everybody's communicating real well. So that's a plus. But I'm going to be honest with you, man, half the battle's getting people to show up. And when your team can't show up, you understand when there's stuff. But, maybe that'll change, and they can be here every week, and we'll see what the future holds. Who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the team. I think it's going to be pretty solid, and I think there's going to be some pretty big things coming from Neon Racing this season.
Excited to see all that'll happen there with y'all. Before we let you go, Eddie, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, man. You already know. Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. Shout out to Dev's Sports Cards. Check him out on eBay, Dev Sports Cards. Mother's Day's coming up. I don't know if he can get it to you in time, but you can write Mom an IOU and just check the mailbox and take it to her. So give her some of those sports memorabilia.
She wants the Tom Brady cards.
Exactly. Yeah, who don't want a Tom Brady card? Yeah, Morris Customs for these paints, man. Of course, everybody that allows me to do this stuff. My teammates, Dev, Joe, congrats to him. D-Wright, congrats to him too. Solid drivers. Proud they're on my team. Junior, love you, man. We're going to get you righted this season. We're going to get you righted, hopefully.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the podium tonight, Eddie, and excited to see what the season will hold for you. Have a great rest of your night.
Absolutely. You too, brother.
Thank you. All right. We are now going to pull in your second place finisher from Rochester, New York. About to say North Carolina there. Let's go ahead and pull in Dave Wright. Dave, this is Outline of the broadcast room. Do you have a copy?
I got you, man. What's up?
Awesome. Well, good run tonight. Again, we saw another fantastic performance with you and your Neon Racing teammates. I know we saw and y'all were kind of in the rear of the pack, and all four of you guys were able to get grouped up and kind of have a really good run. And we saw Eddie was able to get to the front. You were that third car behind your brother. And on the last lap, I was wondering what was going to happen. What were you guys going to do? And we saw heading through the short chute, you and Joe were able to get a good run on the outside. And it was 2 cars versus 1, and you were able to push your brother to the win. You were able to get by Eddie coming across the line in second. So kind of walk us through what was going through your head there during that finish, and how did it feel to push your brother there to the win?
Yeah, man, it was a good race all around. Obviously, pretty calm. It was awesome to go mostly green the whole time. And then fast forward to the end, last lap, as Cody pulled out, Dev kind of blocked his run, which was solidified us really in the top 3 because that took all the wind off them. It was just the 3 of us coming into 3 and 4. Had a feeling Joe was probably going to do that. I was talking to Eddie post race. It's the worst feeling leading the field on the white flag coming out of 4 because you're kind of a sitting duck. Your really only option is if you don't time it exactly right and block him, you're either getting turned or you got to let him go, and they're going to get by you. So, yeah, good to see you, Joe, win, push him to the win. I pushed a bunch of these guys to the win, just waiting for my own one of these days. Man.
You'll definitely get there eventually. You looked very stout all throughout tonight, working with your Neon Racing teammates. So again, this is the first kind of real 100-lap race. We got to see some green flag pit stops. We got to see a wreck with them. We saw a lot of good pack racing, 2 wide, sometimes 3 wide. Thoughts after the first Super Speedway race with these next-gen cars?
I like them. The draft package is wild. The side draft stuff, you can pull a car right off of a group. You need numbers, which helps with the Neon guys, right? I'd like to see a lot of other teams maybe form up underneath us. Obviously, Wasted Wages has those guys, but like there's a lot of spots to fill up. It's how you meet people anyway on this and make good friends. So, and comes in handy, obviously, in super speedways, but just a lot of the knowledge shared just on other tracks and everything as well. But yeah, it was fun, man. I think this group over last night, it was a lot better as far as cleaner racing, bump drafting, stuff like that. These cars are a little bit more stable, but it was to me it was awesome. So it's cool to see the whole field pit on a green flag. I'm pretty sure they all followed me down. I was looking in my mirror. It was pretty wild, and no one really get into anybody on pit entry. So that was cool. And then even getting off, if you didn't take tires, they were steaming, man. So you had to be careful coming around the apron there.
Now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
I just got to thank you, man. Love what you guys do with the Intensity Empire. You, your father, Josh, everything right from Tuesday, Wednesday. What you guys do for us is awesome. I want to thank my crew chief, Ashlyn Ray, my tire changer, Ollie Gray, and my teammates, all the guys at Neon. I mean, that's the reason that we finished 1, 2, 3, like I said. So a lot of good teamwork up there. And Morris Customs, obviously, like he can probably fill out a portfolio with all of the candy paint drip he's got for top podium drivers, right, and pictures there. So that's awesome. McKinleyville Barbershops, obviously, for Junior, Dev Sports Guards, all the sponsors there. Just love it. So, and thanks again, Ant-Man.
Definitely had fun tonight, and again, congrats on the 2nd place finish, and definitely excited to see what the season will hold for you. Have a great rest of your night, Dave.
You too, bud.
Thank you. All right, and let's now pull in your winner, grabbing his 2nd career Wednesday night win. Also from Rochester, North Carolina, brother of Dave Wright, although it says he doesn't claim him. This is Joe Wright in the number 82. Joe, this is out in the broadcast room. You got a copy?
I sure do, Ant-Man.
Awesome. Well, great run tonight here at Daytona for tonight's Devtona 500, and we really saw a phenomenal last lap move. A very well-timed, very good move, and we saw able to work with your brother. I know you and the Neon Racing guys able to get to the front of the pack after kind of riding in the back for a little bit, able to get group up, and you all just flew right to the front. And I know you're behind Eddie. You had your brother behind you, and then coming to the short chute, you just made a perfectly timed move up to the outside. Your brother followed behind you. I know Eddie was kind of a sitting duck, and it was 2 cars versus 1, able to fly by him on that outside lane to get your 2nd career Wednesday night win. I mean, how does it feel to break in victory lane for the first ever race in these next-gen cars, and just kind of walk us through, what was the key to parking in victory lane tonight?
First of all, Ant-Man, thanks for everything you do up there in the booth. And man, I'll tell you what, tonight's race was fun. It probably wasn't as exciting as most people would want to see on a broadcast, but I'll tell you what, inside the car, fuel strategy, getting to pit road, that big pit road entrance where everybody's behind you and you're wondering if you're going to get run over is so nerve-wracking. And we all got to pit road nicely, got off safe, man. It was just a wild race all the way around. A lot of fuel strategy, a lot of saving fuel. You saw a lot of single file for that reason. But man, when it was go time, it was go time, and I had the best pushers in the business in Eddie and Dave and even Junior and Bacino around me. I mean, we had the guys. We had the guys at Super Speedways. Those are the guys you want around you when it's time to go.
So again, like I mentioned, second career win on Wednesday nights. The other win came at Talladega. You have definitely proved yourself as one of the best super speedway racers here in this series. I mean, well, I know with your experience in these on super speedway racing, what did you think of these next gen cars on the super speedways? And I mean, did you like them? Did you not like them? And how? What's kind of the key to being successful at these super speedways?
Well, the runs are massive, right? Once you get going and you get moving, the runs are massive. The key to it is a lot of give and take amongst everybody. And in the field tonight, everybody was well behaved. It looked like all the way around, a lot of give, a lot of take, and it was just fun. I mean, all the way around, just awesome racing. I love the next gen cars. It's gonna be an exciting season. I'm excited to see what happens when we go to our intermediate tracks and our short tracks and what's gonna happen there. Man, even the road tracks, sequential shifting is going to be fun. We'll see what people can do. See who the people who rise to the top this season are. Maybe there'll be some different names you'll see up there. I'm hoping anyway. We'll see.
Now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, I want to shout out to Intensity Broadcasting. If it wasn't for you guys and us and running this whole thing and having fun with it for so long, I probably would have hung up iRacing a while ago. But this is what keeps me coming back. And then the groups of guys all throughout the field, from the Cody Moores to the Devin Machinos to the Alex Bowman Belk to Will Witts, anybody that's in the field, all night long. And then obviously got to give a shout out to the Neon Racing boys, the teammates, Eddie, Dave, Brian, and Devin. And man, big shout out to Morris Customs as well for the paint job. I don't know if you saw that thing, but my new favorite alcoholic beverage on the hood. So it was a nice to get a good win there early on with that paint scheme from Eddie. So shout out to him. And Eddie, after having an interview with you, I was like, hey man, I wish you would have won. And he's like, no man, I'm so stoked you won. So that's what good teammates say, to each other when things like that happen, and we race each other clean 99.9% of the time. I don't think Eddie and I have ever had an issue, so it's good to see. It's fun racing, man. I had a great race. I had a blast. It's cool to see me and D Wright go 1-2 on qualifying, and then turn around and me go 1-2 with him in the race. So it was awesome.
Well, again, congrats on starting off the season with a bang, getting the win here for the Devtona 500. Excited to see what the rest of the season will bring. I know now you're locked into the playoffs, so kind of don't really have to. Just gonna get more stuff in the notebook, get more experience in these next-gen cars, and it'll be.
It helps for when I gotta jump in that broadcast booth for you when you have a Wednesday night you can't attend. So I'll just be up in the booth calling the races, and I'll still be locked in. So it's good.
Absolutely, way to start off the season. So again, congrats on the win, Joe. Have a great rest of your night.
Later, man.
Later. One more time, congrats to Joe Wright on getting the win here for tonight's Devtona 500. And it was a very, very well raced round one. So just definitely have to give a round of applause to Joe Wright for the win. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watch the broadcast tonight. Oh, first of all, got to thank all of the league admins of the league. David Hartney, Eddie Morris, Sylvain Seguin, Brian Nudie, Devin Butchino. Without them, this league would not run as smoothly as it does. So thank you so much to them for all that they do for this league. I want to give a big thank you to all the drivers that showed up tonight. All 21 drivers. This league, the drivers are the reason why this league goes round and round. So thank you so much to all the drivers who showed up tonight and will be showing up all throughout the season. Want to thank series sponsor Dev Sports Cards. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to Devin and Dev Sports Cards. Want to give a big thank you to Blue Ridge Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram for partnering with the Next Gen Series for the inaugural season. And I want to thank the Butt Kicker for partnering with Intensity Broadcasting. I want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to watch tonight. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as that would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Check out our Twitter page, Intensity Broad One. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. And check out our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. There, we've got all of our merchandise from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite drivers, your favorite leagues, and so much more. We got our bunch of Intensity Broadcasting merchandise, at Luis Racing, auto racing novelty items. We got our driver collections, lifestyle collections, league collections, and the team collections. Especially make sure to check out the SCSRA section of the league collections and pick up an SCSRA t-shirt that comes in 5 snazzy colors and sizes small to 5XL. Make sure to turn on your notifications bell. We will be back next week with the SCSRA Xfinity Series. We will be at Phoenix Raceway for 165 laps of racing action. That is going to be a fun race at the Jewel of the Desert. So definitely consider tuning into that. Turn on your notifications bell. I'm Atlee Atman-Weist, and on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.